gentlemen, welcome to the Reform Will Fix It local election tour, live from Hull in the county of Yorkshire. Please welcome political commentator and broadcaster, Charlie Rowley.
Hello, nice to see you. Good evening, Hull! I know it's a Monday night, but you can do better than that. I said good evening, Hull! Oh, and are you looking forward to tonight? Oh, welcome to Reform UK's local election tour 2026! Oh, yes. We have been all over the country, starting in the Isle of Wight. We've been to Basingstoke, we've been to Swindon, Suffolk, Thurrock. We were in Leeds not so long ago. We were in Milton Keynes, and here we are in the great city of Hull. And people have come far and wide to join us this evening. And I can see already there are a few people wearing some beautiful merchandise, which you can get from this lovely stall here. There will be someone here, lovely volunteer. Don't worry, madam, we don't expect you to do the selling this evening. But your top behind is actually much more better. So there we go. We might have to use you as a designer for us. So there we are. You'll get some merchandise along the way. Are you looking forward to tonight? Yeah! Well, folks, what a lineup we have for you tonight. We've got kicking off tonight the chairman of Reform UK, Dr. David Bull is here. He will be followed by your Mayor of Hull and East Yorkshire, Luke Campbell is in the building. And of course, am I missing someone? Am I missing someone, do you think, folks? You're absolutely right. The one and only leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, is in the building. But, of course, tonight is all about you. There are residents here. The majority of people in this room are residents. They're not members of Reform UK. We've got candidates, and we do have members and supporters. We'll be talking to all of those very shortly, including a couple of interviews that are going to be absolutely rip-roaring. I'm sure of it, because I'm doing it. So, without further ado, this is the part where we go down into the audience, we get some audience reaction, it's audience participation. It's my favourite part of the show. It's when everyone starts to relax. Now then. Hello.
Hi.
Can we come to you? You're wearing some lovely merchandise here.
Yes, I am, because I just love Reform.
She loves Reform, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Are you not a candidate at all? You're just a member or resident? Or
I'm just a member, which I think is pretty good anyway. But I am contemplating sort of getting involved more fully. But just seeing how things go at the moment.
So you might become a candidate?
I might do, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Round of applause for a potential candidate. Just very quickly, because I think that struck a chord with the room. Why, I suppose, what is it, I suppose the question is, would you move from just being a member and supporter to being a candidate? What is it that's pushing you in that direction to actually become a candidate?
I just feel quite strongly about some of the things that are happening in our country at the moment, which to me are pretty negative. And so the things that sort of Nigel Farage stands for actually complement a lot of the things that I believe in. So I do get quite a lot of negativity towards me and from my own family. And I just feel like I'm not going to listen anymore, and I want to just like prove to myself that I can do something. And it's been years, and I've thought about politics, but it's just where I've fitted in, and this is definitely where I would fit in.
There you go. There you go. Round of applause there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if like that fantastic lady there, you want to stand, there is a stand for me, just in that corner there as well. You can go over there, you can sign up, you can put your details forward, and someone will be in touch. And I think we've got some more candidates in the front row here, have we not? Hello, sir.
Hi there.
What's your name and where are you standing?
My name's Duncan Graham and I'm standing in Marfleet.
Very good. Do we know it? And we'll just come across the front row because we've got a few more candidates here.
Hi there, I'm Craig Gadd, I'm standing in Bricknell Ward.
There we go. Bricknell Ward. People know it?
All right.
Hello.
All right, my name's Aaron Pickering, I'm standing in Long Hill and Bilton Grange.
There we go. And finally...
Hi, my name's Richard Kelly, I'm the chair and I'm standing in South Coats.
Very good. Round of applause for some of our candidates here. Right. You've heard from candidates, you've heard from residents and members of the public. You're now going to hear from two fantastic individuals. And this is the moment, actually, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I'm walking backwards, which is the general direction of my career. These two individuals, one is a county councillor across the country, not from this local area. The other is a political activist. He is a campaigner. He does all kinds of things, which you're going to hear about now. So please, Hull, give a very, very warm welcome to your two guests. First up this evening, it is Natalie Oliver and Jack Anderton! Hello, welcome to our lovely set this evening. Are you well?
Very well.
You well,
it's amazing to be in Hull.
There we go. Amazing to be in Hull, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Now, Natalie, can I start with you? You are a county councillor for...
Lincolnshire.
And you have a lot of responsibility in Lincolnshire.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's really interesting, actually, because the whole rally this time last year was the first Reform rally that I came to when they announced Luke Campbell as the candidate. So it's amazing to be here a year on, and I am now the lead member for Children's Services and Culture for Lincolnshire County Council.
So you've obviously stood as a candidate before, you've obviously got elected as a Reform councillor. Why should people in the room that we were just hearing from some of our audiences that are members of Reform, are thinking about becoming candidates, why should they stand? Why can they make a difference? And why local government? What's the importance of all of those?
Well, if I give you some background as to why I put myself forward as a candidate. So I'm a mother of two small children, and I look at my children and look at the innocence in their eyes, look at the potential that they've got, but then look at the country that we are currently leaving them. And that literally makes my blood run cold. It really does. So I think, you know, when
Do we agree with that, ladies and gentlemen?
So in terms of that, I think, you know, from one parent to another parent, from one patriot to another patriot, if you have got what it takes and you've got some incredible knowledge and skills that you can bring to the table, and your passion is about saving your country and getting Nigel Farage into number 10, then please put yourself forwards and help your local area and help with this movement in the drive to do so.
Do we agree with Natalie Oliver? I think we do. You mentioned the future there, and obviously thinking about children and younger people coming forward. It is their country that, you know, we have to leave behind. Just looking to your right, Jack Anderton, who is very young.
Very youthful.
Very youthful. Future rising star. Jack, you do so much. You're a political campaigner, you are an activist. Tell us everything about what you do, and don't be modest, because I'll tell them otherwise.
Well, obviously Reform have been on tour the last month or so, touring across the country as part of the local election campaign, supporting candidates, supporting campaigns across the country. And I have actually been on my own little mini tour across universities of our country. So I was inspired and really motivated after after the assassination of Charlie Kirk to travel around British universities, which used to be bastions of free speech and debate, and have wavered in the last couple of decades or so. And I wanted to bring Reform's message, my message, to university students and university campuses across the country. So I've been all the way to Edinburgh, to Exeter, and I've got to say the response has been broadly positive. At York, I had a 400-person protest against me. Yeah. So 400 people came out to protest me, 8-man police escort, but by the by, because the 40 students that turned up and supported were really appreciative. They backed Reform all the way, and quite frankly, they were appreciative of someone who supported them and backed them visiting the campus. So that's really what I've been focused on the last couple of months, is supporting British young people who are backing Reform across this country.
Yeah, it takes guts, doesn't it, to get out there, people? You are also occasional, columnist for the Daily Mail. You write things. You put your name out there. You do so much to advance the cause of free speech, as you say in the tour that you're doing. You also, as we noted, you are quite young, and I think it is great that young people get involved. Obviously, so a slightly devil's advocate question, because you could be doing anything else. You could be travelling. You could be, having a kickabout in the park. You could be playing football. You could be part of a band. You could do anything when you're young. Why politics, and why Reform UK when things haven't been? I think it's fair to say, it's not been the easiest ride as a country. So why get involved?
Well, I think it's not just young people. It's for many of us. I'm sure Natalie can speak to it as well. Being a part of this movement is a sacrifice. You're sacrificing your social life. You're sacrificing sometimes your career in service of this movement. And I think that's the really important thing. My mother and father, I think, would have much preferred I would have gone into banking. But instead, unfortunately for them, I went into politics. But I do it because I love our country and I want to save our country. And I've only ever seen, and young people have only ever seen, Britain in decline. And Reform is really about reversing that decline and bringing back hope for our country.
All great stuff. We're just getting huge applause in the room this evening, so thank you for that. Natalie, one of your responsibilities, you said, was children's services. Children in this country seem to have been affected more than most, whether it's about the economy, whether it's about the health service, whether it's about education in our universities, when it comes to free speech, as Jack was saying. But when it comes to things like the grooming gang scandal, young people have been completely left behind and ignored by successive governments. So why, when people feel, oh, well, they're all the same, I'm not going to get involved in the political process, why bother with politics? What do you say to those people to say, hang about, local government matters, what you're doing matters, but why Reform is very different to what people might have seen in the past?
Well, totally different, Charlie, and you're absolutely right. We are absolutely sick to death of the political establishment who have completely forgotten who they are supposed to serve. And that is the situation that we find ourselves in. I have never, ever before thought about, thank you. So I've never thought about a career in politics. That has never been on my horizon. As I say, I've got 2 children myself. I've got my own business. I've worked in the private and public sectors in the past. And at this point in time, the outlook is incredibly bleak. We have got to do what we can to change that. And only we, the ordinary people with our knowledge and skills from other areas, from our other careers and backgrounds that we've had, can make this difference. And, when Nigel walks through that black door of number 10, it won't be just a freak accident that happened in Westminster. It will be down to the thousands of people that have put themselves forward, ordinary people wanting real change for this country and to better the future that our children will inherit. And that will be the change.
Amazing stuff there. So very final question to you both, and it's a quick one. If you're knocking at my door and I open it and you say, hello, Charlie, I'm Natalie, what is the message? Why should I vote Reform on the 7th of May? And that's a question to both of you, but Natalie first.
Okay. Well, there is no other option, Charlie. Either you vote Reform UK or we have more of the same political establishment that we have been suffering for decades. We have got to make real change, and Reform UK are the only ones that can deliver that. So please, vote reform on the 7th of May and get thousands more councillors, and let's start to really make that change.
Quite convincing. But Jack, I open the door, there you are. Why should I vote for reform, or why should anybody here vote for reform on the 7th of May?
Well, I'm not really sure how I top Natalie's answer, but one thing I would say is that, what she said is right. If you want more of the same, if you want managed decline, if you want Britain in decline, continue voting for Labour and the Conservatives. If you want a reversal of that, if you want a better economy, if you want mass immigration stopped, if you want better paying jobs, if you want a better future for your children, then vote for Reform UK and vote for Reform UK councillors on May 7th.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up to my two superstar interviewees, Jack Anderton and Natalie Oliver! Thank you, that's amazing. Thanks so much. Right, now it's time to get on with the main event. Please welcome to the stage, here in Hull, your chairman of Reform UK, Dr. David Ball!
Thank you. Well, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. What I have to say is that I've been around this country for the last 9 months. I reckon I'm the closest to knowing what is going on the streets around this country. And there is a sense of change, a sense of desperation. People want to do things differently, and they want a party that listens to them. And it really doesn't matter where I go. In fact, whether it's Wales or Scotland, indeed, in Liverpool, they were voting 80% for Labour at the last election. That has been half decimated to 40%, and we are on the rise. There is no doubt that Reform UK is on the ascendancy, and I believe passionately we will become the party of government thanks to people just like you. And I think also, by the way, Natalie and Jack, thank you so much. They epitomise everything we want. Young people who are involved in politics, who want to make a difference. Give them a round of applause for doing such a great job. And Charlie, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Rowley. Well, a very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I am so delighted to be here with you in Hull, a city which dates back to the 12th century. Now, Hull became a huge trading hub because of its position on the Humber estuary, giving it direct access to the North Sea, and that made it ideal for importing and exporting goods. Now, as a result, it has more than 800 years of seafaring history, and it is still known as Yorkshire's maritime city. But Hull hasn't rested on its laurels. More recently, it was awarded UK City of Culture in 2017. It is really clear to me that Hull has had a very proud history, and let me tell you, under a Reform UK government, we will ensure it has an even better future. Now, this part of the country is also really interesting politically because there are 3 parliamentary seats covering Hull. All of them are up for grabs at the next general election, and they are all safe Labour seats. But not anymore. Yes, it gets better, The latest polling, which I looked at today, shows the Labour vote across this area has completely collapsed, and Reform UK is now on track to win all 3 parliamentary seats. I think that is nothing short of extraordinary, don't you? Well, some of you here tonight are supporters of the party. Some of you are members, but actually, many of you have never had an affiliation with a political party. And some of you even refuse to vote because you know you will be ignored. And I don't blame you, because it's clear they do not care what people like you think. And that, in my opinion, is why the whole blinking lot need to be booted out of office tomorrow. Now, we had a choice. Instead of sitting back and watching the decline of this once great nation, Nigel, Richard, Tyson and I decided to do something about it. We founded Reform UK just 5 years ago. Think about that. Only 5 years ago. And look at the wild journey we have been on. Now, the media and political commentariat keep telling us we have peaked. They said, David, you have peaked when we were at 2%. They told me that again when I was deputy leader. We were polling at 9%. And now look at us. We are now polling at astonishing levels. We are way ahead of all of the other political parties. And you see, this is the truth they will not tell you. We are the fastest growing political party in this country. We are now also the largest political party in this country. And since I've been chairman, we have gained, wait for this, 5,000 new members every single month and still growing. We now have 8 members of parliament and we are not stopping there. And we have led the last 250 opinion polls, and the latest polls show us on course to win a thumping parliamentary majority. But the news just gets better, because it means we will kick out big Labour figures like Rachel Reeves. She's out. And of course, after Rachel Reeves, Angela Rayner is also out. But here's my favourite. Mad Ed Miliband bites the dust as well. Now, I passionately believe that Reform UK is the last chance to save this country. I'm not alone in that, actually. I'm seeing people around the country venting anger and frustration as I go around this great United Kingdom. I've been on the road for the last 9 months doing my chairman's tour, of course our party conference, and rallies just like these. I have seen and talked to over 20,000 people. And across the country, the message really could not be clearer. This current government is the worst any of us have ever seen in our lifetimes. You see, the problem is this: the government is directionless, rudderless, devoid of principles, policies, and lacks any kind of coherence. And I've been thinking about this. Why is this? Well, great countries need a great leader. But what do we have? Keir Starmer. He's a failed human rights lawyer who prefers Davos to Devon. He is a man who languishes with a net approval rating of, wait for this, -47. Ooh. So, in fact, his approval rating is now so bad that at this point, the taxman, rail replacement buses, and even the BBC is more popular than the current Prime Minister. Look, the Labour government is out of ideas and out of time. They have absolutely no idea what they are doing. They are like a supermarket trolley with a wonky wheel. They are all over the shop. And this government knows that it is in deep trouble and is now lashing out at us and grasping at straws. They keep accusing Reform UK of wanting to privatise the NHS. You've heard that, haven't you? Many times. Well, I'm a medical doctor. I also happen to be the person who wrote our health policy, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is a blatant lie. It smacks of desperation, and let me be very clear, under a Reform UK government, the NHS remains free at the point of need. But you see, it's not just Labour who are the only liars in town. The Tories betrayed your trust. It was the Tories that broke Britain. They bankrupted the country, they implemented austerity, and they left us with open borders. The Tories were totally and utterly irresponsible. So given the two main parties have abjectly failed this great country, some people are turning to Ed Davey and the Lib Dems in desperation. Let me be very clear, they are not a serious party. Ed Davey is a clown. He just is a man who wants attention. They want to drag us back into the EU, by the way, against the wishes of the British people. And when it comes to local government, they love nothing more than tax, tax, tax. Their average council tax rises are higher than any other party. So if you vote Lib Dem, you will get open borders, higher taxes, and lawless streets. Which really only leaves Zach Polanski and the Green Party to consider. And look, in case you're in any doubt, I want to give you my clinical diagnosis. Zach Polanski is utterly bonkers. The Green Party, though, on a very serious note, is a major threat to British national security. You cannot trust them. So, then the question is, why do you back us? Well, when you vote for reform, you get reform. Just look at the difference we have already made running councils. Now, in County Durham, Reform UK has scrapped stupid net zero schemes, saving tens of millions of pounds. In Derbyshire, Reform has cleared the pothole backlog we inherited from 17,000 down to 0 in our first 10 months. And in West Northamptonshire, Reform served notice on all 3 asylum hotels in the area, and we are determined to shut every single asylum hotel permanently in this country. But now we need your help. This is your chance to be part of our movement and change British political history. We need people to stand for us at these elections in just over 5 weeks' time. So if you're up for the challenge, you can apply online via our website. I want to end by saying just this. In 38 days, on May the 7th, it's your opportunity to vote. For too long, you have been taken for granted, you have been ignored, and you have been let down. And that can end now. This is your chance to change your future, and the only way to do that is to vote for Reform UK. Well, my first guest tonight became Mayor of Hull in East Yorkshire after a very decisive victory last May. In his former career as a boxer, he was known as Cool Hand. And today he is bringing that same calm, that focus and determination to ensure he delivers for the people of Hull. Before we meet him, let's see him in action.
One of the proudest moments in my life was coming home after the Olympics, seeing all the people that turned out for me. Hull's really good when they get behind their own and cheer for their own. It's a great city filled with great people. I'm proud of who I am, where I come from and what I do, and I want to represent the people in the right way. I want to do it for my family, I want to do it for the community, and I want to do it for my country. That's what I want to do now. I want to commit my time to making this place a better place.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Mayor of Hull in East Yorkshire, Luke Campbell.
How is everyone tonight? Good, good. It's great to see everybody. It's great to be with you tonight. For those that are tuning in that don't know me, my name's Luke Campbell. I'm an Olympic champion. Thank you. I'm a proud Yorkshireman, and I'm your mayor. Thank you. But above all, I'm just a working class lad from Boulevard, Hezza Road. I grew up here. I know what the place stands for. I know the people, I know the struggles, and I know the potential we have. The fighter mentality, now that's this region. I didn't come into this role through politics. I came in through pressure, through discipline, through getting knocked down and getting back up again. Boxing teaches you something powerful. Nobody is coming to save you. You either show up or you fall behind. You either fight or you quit. And I made a decision a long time ago, I don't quit. And the people of Hull and East Yorkshire don't quit either. Now, I brought that same mindset into this role because what I've stepped into here, I've got to be honest with you, it's not easy. There's criticism, there's noise, there's people who doubt you, and there's people who want you to fail. But let me tell you something tonight. I will not stop. Thank you. I will not be distracted, and I will not fail this region. Why I stepped up? I didn't do it for status. For those that know me personally, they know that I don't like the limelight. I don't like the attention, and I'm not interested in the glory. And I'm certainly not interested in politicians who have bigger egos than their capabilities. I think we know what we're talking about there. I didn't do this for politics. I did this because I look around and I thought, we deserve better than this. And we have an opportunity where I can give back to the communities that gave me everything, that inspired me to stand here today. This region has been held back for far too long, not because of the lack of talent, not because of the lack of work ethic, but because of lack of belief, direction, and leadership. And that changes now. We are building something real. People say to me, what have you done? And I tell them this, you don't jump into a car with no engine and expect to go anywhere. Right now, we are building that engine. We are putting in place the infrastructure, the systems, the people, the right people that care about where they live, have skin in the game, and are passionate about delivering success for this region. That allows us to move this region forward properly. We've already secured hundreds of millions of pounds of investment because for the first time in a long time, people believe in this region again. This isn't about ticking boxes. This is about changing lives. Local people, local opportunities. Everything I do comes down to one thing, local people first. Thank you. If we bring in jobs, those jobs go to people here. If there's a skills gap, we train people here. If money is being spent, it stays in this region. No more watching opportunities pass us by. No more seeing outside companies come in, take the money and leave nothing behind. That stops now. What people actually care about. Let's be honest. People don't wake up thinking about strategic visions. They care about real life. They want a bus that turns up on time. More job opportunities. A chance to build a great future here for their family. A system that actually works for them. That's what I'm focused on. Not headlines, not politics, just results. Community is where it all starts. One of the first things I did was put aside £1 million community fund. Because I believe change doesn't start at the top. It starts in your home. It starts in the street and in the community. I want to bring back what's been taken away from us. I want to massively invest in our community centres. We all know back when we was young, we could go for a couple of games of pool, some darts, spend £1 or £2 in tuck shop, have fun, laughs with friends in a safe space. I want to bring back to life what we knew worked, but make it even better. I'd like to support the young mummies and parents. I want to continue giving our younger generation fit, healthy, active, off the games and out playing fun, playing real games, sports. But not only that, we should work closely with the voluntary sector, teach skills to our young kids where we can work with a retired bricklayer that can come in, teach skills to our young kids and help them, give them a trade. Community centres full of life, safe spaces for people, support for families, opportunities for people who's been overlooked. Because when communities are strong, everything else follows. Building strong people, not just systems. I'm not here just to build infrastructure. I'm here to build people. I care about people. We need to start teaching our young people things that actually matter. How to handle pressure, how to control their emotions, how to deal with anxiety, and how to stay strong when life hits them. Because let me tell you this, resilience isn't about bouncing back. Resilience is about being strong enough that you don't have to break in the first place. And if we teach that early, we change everything. I've seen the world and I choose here. I've lived all over the world, from London to Miami to New York City. And I'm telling you, there is nowhere like this place. Nowhere with the heart, the people, the potential that we have right here. This region can be the best in the country. Not someday, but soon. There are people who would rather see this region stay stuck than see it succeed without them. People who have blocked progress, have slowed things down, and have held us back just to protect their position. That's wrong. Because this is not about them. This is about us. So I need your support. These local elections matter. If you want progress, if you want change, if you want this region to finally move forward, then we need to vote reform. We need people who will deliver. Because with the right support, we can go further, faster together. Reform is the only party that will do that. I will make you a promise. We have 4 years. We are on a mission to leave a legacy that this region has never seen before. I've never been the biggest talker. In boxing, I let my actions speak louder than my words. And I will do the same here. I will talk less, but deliver more. I will not overpromise and underdeliver. And I will fight for this region every single day. This is our time. This is our moment. Let's take it together. Thank you all. Thank you.
Wasn't he brilliant? Yeah. What a brilliant mayor. Well, that brings us nicely to our final speaker. Who could that possibly be, I wonder? Well, he's a man not afraid of a political fight. He took on Nat West and he won. He then took on YouGov and he won. And let me tell you, at the next election, he will take on the establishment and he will win. And soon he will make history when he becomes the next British Prime Minister. Before we meet him, let's see him in action.
We are all ships rising on a turquoise tide, headed towards winning the next general election. This government is deep in crisis. They are not fit to govern. The Conservative Party are riven. There is a new, strong, unified party, the party that stands up for decent working people, and we are the party on the rise. The energy has been unbelievable. The enthusiasm has been extraordinary. You are the people's army.
Reform is now in government. And the big shout-out message, and it's very, very clear, is if you vote reform, you get reform. And when it comes to country, of what a nation is, this is where I do personally want to confront the Prime Minister head on.
No one cares more about the state of this country than I do.
There is nobody more determined than me.
But I tell you what, folks, that was just the beginning. Thank you very much indeed.
Please welcome the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage, MP.
Good evening, Hull. Well, this is terrific. I was on this very stage this time last year when we introduced local hero Luke Campbell as our mayoral candidate. And I thought, I don't know, how's he going to get on? Can he really, are the people of Hull really going to vote for Luke and vote for reform? And he didn't just win, he won the mayoralty by a mile, and a year on, I got to tell you, he's an honest, straight guy doing a superb job for your city. He really is. So I was really keen to come back to Hull, back to Connexin, to speak in support of him, and indeed, to speak for the 19 men and women who are standing for us as Hull City Council elects in thirds. He has been up against it. The administration against him, all the local councils against him. It has not been an easy first year. But he's certainly found his feet. He's sacking all the people in the administration that are obstructing him, and I agree with that. Let that be a warning to Whitehall after the next general election. Civil servants are supposed to be impartial. Civil servants are supposed to be neutral. Civil servants are supposed to turn up at the office. But now there's an opportunity. With 19 men and women, and I met 18 of them earlier today, standing here in Hull City Council. If we can do our stuff here on May the 7th, sweep the board, hold the balance of power on Hull City Council, that will give Luke a massive, massive step up. He won't be obstructed. And you know something? right now, in Hull, the Tory party have completely disappeared. And frankly, deservedly. But last time round, Hull became controlled. Hull! I mean, the city that voted by over two-thirds for Brexit, Hull voted Liberal Democrat. Now, you may all be fans of Ed Davey, I don't know. Falling off paddle boards and... But I suppose if you've got nothing to say, it's sensible. I guess it's all you can do, really. So is Hull a hotbed of Liberal Democrats who believe in rejoining the European Union, who see no obstruction to open borders, who think we should welcome young men undocumented that cross the English Channel? No, it's not, is it? It's not. It's not. And they voted Lib Dem 4 years ago, and they voted Lib Dem because they were done with the Tories, and they were done with Labour, and they saw the Lib Dem vote as being the way to fight back against the two-party establishment that has run this country for over 100 years, and over the last few decades has led us so badly. They voted Lib Dem against Labour and against the Conservatives, and I believe with the right campaign on May the 7th, just as they did for Luke Campbell last year, I believe the people of Hull will vote reform on May the 7th and will score a great victory. Now, I spent over a quarter of a century battling against the odds for our country not to be governed from Brussels, to take back control of our borders, control our own lives, and in the end, we got it. In the end, we got Brexit. We voted to leave the European Union and take back our independence and self-respect. But sadly, the Conservative government never really believed in it, didn't deliver it properly, and now piece by piece, Labour are taking us back in. And that's what motivated me 20 months ago to come out of political retirement. I wasn't retired completely. I was busy having a great job at GB News, which I absolutely love. But I came back into British politics not just because Brexit hadn't been delivered. I came back into politics because I believe that our once great nation is in serious, serious trouble. I believe that Britain is broken and Britain needs reform, and that's why I'm back. And this Prime Minister oh, he's worse than that. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, keep it clean, for goodness sake, I'll be in trouble. We're on live stream, kids could be watching. This Prime Minister has motivated me even more. I do not believe this Prime Minister acts in the national interest of our country and of its people. He bows down before foreign courts. He does what those who loathe our country urge him to do. He is gutless. He is useless. He is unpatriotic. And on May the 7th, when people vote in Scotland, in Wales, in all 32 London boroughs, here in Hull, right across the West Yorkshire, the North East, the Midlands, the North West, East Anglia, and so on. This is the massive, massive set of elections, the biggest electoral test that will take place between now and the next general election. And right at the minute, we are in the driving seat. Right at the minute, we're topping the polls and doing well. And if people overwhelmingly vote reform on May the 7th, vote reform, get rid of Starmer. That's the big message. And he can't answer any questions. Everything's scripted. Everything's read off a sheet of paper. As I've said before, he's like a pigeon in Trafalgar Square, you know. And last week I asked him a very sensible question. I said, you promised you'd smash the gangs. And yet record numbers of young men have crossed the English Channel under your premiership. As this plan has failed, what is plan B? And he totally ignored my question. And so I got up and I walked out of the House of Commons in disgust. But he can't lead, he only follows. He tells the Americans they can't use our bases. Then, regardless of that, missiles get fired at a British military base in Cyprus. He then says they can use our bases. But then it's time to send the Royal Navy. Oh, yes. The nation of Nelson. It's time to send the Royal Navy to defend British sovereign territory in Cyprus. And it takes us 3 weeks and 1 day to get a single vessel there. Our armed forces, hollowed out by 14 years of Conservative government, and now a Labour Party that promises to spend money on defence and does not do so. Can you imagine how this makes us look in the eyes of the world? What a shameful moment it is. And we go on, of course, because of the situation in Iran, not just to oil and gas prices getting higher, but now meetings today in number 10 about potential energy shortages. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an estimated 10 billion barrels of oil and gas, both offshore and onshore. We should not be worried about shortage of supply. We should not just be self-sufficient in energy. We should have a massive oil and gas industry employing tens of thousands of people and be an exporter. And you can say what you like about renewables, but because we subsidize renewables, your bills now for 20 years have been higher than they should be, and we have the highest industrial energy prices in the world. And just think about this part of the world. Just think of the Humber area. Think of what we've lost in terms of steel making, in terms of cement making, in terms of petrochemicals, in terms of plastics. All of this has gone. It's gone off to India, to China, and other places. And what do? We import the goods back into Britain. We haven't cut CO2 emissions. We've exported the export of CO2 emissions to other countries around the world. And as for Kemi Badenoch today, that's amused somebody back there, hasn't it? It's the trouble, it's infectious, isn't it? As for Kemi Badenoch today, saying get Britain drilling, she was the high priestess of net zero and renewables just a handful of years ago, and it was the Conservative government that put 75% super taxes, stopping companies investing in the North Sea, a Conservative government who forbade any onshore exploration of gas, a Conservative government who weren't willing to give out the necessary licenses. It's the Conservative government that killed the North Sea. It's Red Ed Miliband continuing it, and Richard Tice have made these arguments for year after year after year. They are a pale imitation. The Conservative Party is a pale imitation. We are the real deal. We're the people setting the agenda, and I sense the country is now coming to its senses. We should re-industrialise Britain, particularly the north of England, produce our own oil and gas, and become a richer, better, stronger country as a result of it. And it's worth thinking here in Hull, on the North Sea, on the other half of the North Sea, the bit the Norwegians have, the intelligent, well-led Norwegians. There have been 49 new drill sites in the last year, in the same fields that stretch over into British waters. 49 new drill sites, 0 in this country. We deserve leadership. We deserve courage. We deserve people in government who know how to run business and know how to make money. Otherwise, we're doomed. And while we're on the North Sea, Norway, fishing's coming, all right. It's like having a prompter up at the back there, isn't it? While we're on the North Sea, Norway has a 200-mile exclusive economic zone, and all the fish and all the fish management within those waters is controlled by Norway. If we want to fish there, we have to get a license and pay for it. A 200-mile exclusive economic zone, a booming fishing industry, a booming angling, tourism, business. And I thought with Brexit, part of it was about getting back our territorial waters to the benefit of Hull and Grimsby and Fraserburgh and many of these great North Sea ports. And what did the Conservatives negotiate? Nothing. Nothing. We have exclusive fishing rights up to a 6-mile line and no more than that. And now Starmer has agreed these arrangements should continue for a further 11 years. You know, in this city, fishing was once one of the great centerpieces and prides of Hull, destroyed by our membership of the European Union and by weak British governments not prepared to stand up for our traditions and our coastal communities. And I promise you, if we have anything to do with it, we will change that and take back what is rightfully ours. But I'm afraid we have problems that are even more serious than the economic situation, than our military situation, and that is our social situation now in our country. I can scarcely believe that there are marches and demonstrations up and down this country of people who support the murderous, barbarous Iranian regime. I can scarcely believe there are marches up and down this country at which they chant anti-Semitic slogans against the Jewish community, the kind of thing we all thought had gone over 80 years ago. I cannot believe that we have British police forces in the north of England and in this county of Yorkshire who've been prepared to turn a blind eye to what is called the grooming gangs scandal. But it's worse than that. It's worse than that. It's actually the mass rape scandal, isn't it? It is something that shames all of us who live in this country and those that view us from around the world. Immigration into Britain works if those that come play their part and integrate, and generally we've been pretty good at it compared to many other countries in the world because we're a proud, tolerant people. But I'm afraid what's happened in the last few years, and again, Boris Johnson Boris Johnson. The Boris wave. 3.8 million people coming in under Boris Johnson, and only 20% of them on work permits. And for every one of those that comes that doesn't work, they're likely to cost the taxpayer, if they live a long life, up to £500,000. We have burdened taxpayers for many, many years to come. And that is why I believe that those that have come in the last few years that are not contributing, that are not working, should not be given indefinite leave to remain, automatic rights to benefits. We literally can't afford to do it. And a 10 million increase in the population. Well, no wonder there's a problem getting a GP appointment. No wonder driving around our motorways has become such a blooming living nightmare. We've overpopulated the country. And there is nothing in this. There is nothing in this that is prejudiced against anybody. It's about what is in our interests of our people in our country and about putting British people first. That is what it's all about. That's what it's about. And as for the boats, well, I was going out into the English Channel in April and May 2020, filming the boats, putting it out on social media, and saying, why are the mainstream press not covering this? And I predicted that there'd be an invasion. It's now 200,000 people that have illegally crossed the English Channel. You've got them living in Hull, haven't you? Got them living in a Hull, in a hotel that once Queen Victoria and Prince Albert stayed in. You've had crimes committed by some of these young men in Hull, and I won't even go into the horrible details. Nobody that comes here illegally as a young man and chucks his passport and phone into the sea at the 12-mile line, not only should they not be given a hotel, not only should they not be given the right to stay, because they've come from countries like Iran and Afghanistan, we have to view them as a national security risk to the future of our country. And again, we're generous. We've been generous to Ukrainians, generous to people from Hong Kong who've been horribly treated by the Chinese. We've always been generous, but we do not want to be taken advantage of. Under us, anybody that comes by small boat or in the back of a lorry will be detained, not free to walk the streets, and deported from this country. Simple as that. And to do that, we will do the thing that they have not had the guts to do in government. We will leave the European Court of Human Rights. May the 1st last year, we won control of 10 county councils outright, and minority control of 2 others. The amount of publicity Reform-led councils have had is unlike anything in history. And it comes up regularly at PMQs when he reads out from his script, you know. Nearly 1 year in, I can say with some pride, we've managed to cut and save hundreds of millions of pounds, and our council tax rises are lower than that for any other party. And just with that, and with what Luke has managed to save here in Hull, you know with us, your money will be better looked after by Reform than it will by anybody else, and I'm proud of that record 1 year in. But there's a really big thing we have to do, and we have to do it in local politics, we have to do it in national politics. I think all of us in this room recognise
the very, very serious problems Britain's in, the dangerous problems Britain's in, the sheer level and speed of decline, whether it's the economy, law and order, whatever it may be. But we're not here. We are not here to stick two fingers up to the establishment, even though they deserve it. No, we're not here to do that. We're here to say to you that our job is to spread the message of one four-letter word. Hope. Our job is to give people hope. Our job is to give people the feeling they can vote for people who are not cowardly, who won't follow opinion polls, who won't be put off by the storm they get on social media or abuse in the street from the hateful left who want to shut down all debate and cancel anything that is even vaguely patriotic. No, what people need is to believe we're going to get a government in Britain that will stand up for the right principles, fight for the right principles through thick and thin, face down the extremists, and get back proper British patriotic values from our schools right the way through. That is our job, is to spread hope, and that is what I intend to do. And the country needs it. But I can't do this on my own, and I've been pleased to see the massive growth of our party. We're now the biggest party in the country by membership. And our real strength as a party is the people's army. It's people out there. Now, I know that most of you in this audience, the vast majority, are not members of ours. Well, not yet members of ours. And my job tonight is to convince you, to help us, to support us, if you agree with what you've heard and seen this evening. And to that end, can I ask Luke and the local Hull candidates to come and join me on stage, please? Now, the reason I'm inviting these people up is hardly any of these guys and girls have ever been involved in politics before. But they put themselves forward to stand for reform because they believe something must be done. But perhaps even more deeply and even more emotionally, there's a growing feeling now, given where the country is going, that we may represent the last chance to bring some decency back to this country. We may well be the last chance. And so all I can say to you is, all I can say to you good people from Hull is this: these people have made a sacrifice. They've put their heads over the parapet. And I'm asking as many of you as possibly can to help them. And you can all help in your own ways. You can join us, you can support us, you can spread the message, you can deliver leaflets for us, you can make phone calls for us. All of you, in some way, if you want to help these people get elected, help this incredible political movement, then go to the table over there afterwards that says Stand For Us, and please sign up. So before we finish, let me ask you, are you prepared to help us in this great battle to save our country? Yeah. Good, good. Well, thank you. They're going to need help. They're going to need help. They're brave people. And I want to say a big, big thank you. Fantastic audience, amazing turnout. Last year was a great success with Luke. And on May the 7th this year, I want to get all these people elected to represent you in Hull, and thank you for coming this evening. Thank you.